Spiritual Teaching 137. Love each other. 1. My light and my power are manifested among you. From the beginning, the light of my spirit has illuminated the path of humanity in each age. Each age has witnessed my revelations. Your spirit knows that I have spoken to it in many ways. That light shows you the path that my charity has been tracing for you so that through it you can reach my divinity, where your origin was. 2. In man is the Spirit. The Spirit is the light of the divinity. Therefore, it is I that am in each one of you, in your spirit. If today you do not value the greatness of the way I am manifesting myself, tomorrow you will understand it. Here you have the path clean of human impurities. With this I do not mean to tell you that your religions are bad. I do not come to divide you, because if each truly complied with what their religion commands, they would be saved. Do not all teach to love God and his brother, but I contemplate that on many occasions you even ignore yourself to hear my truth. 3. What I have come to teach you is love, because feelings spring from it pure and high, the highest inspirations. You lack love. That's why you walk in darkness. If I have been demolishing idols and abolishing rites, it is so that you can contemplate more clearly the light of truth. As a teacher, I come to give you my teachings. One of them is that I am giving my lessons through men, without it being essential that they be just and clean of heart. How many times will he be more sinful before my eyes, the spokesperson of whom I use, than those whom I find myself teaching? My power and my wisdom inspires what holy, just, and pure ideas spring from his mouth. That is why, when these understandings are communicated with their Lord, the spiritual life is reflected through them, and they reveal to you much of what is beyond your life. 4. It has not been necessary for you to see or touch me in order to believe, because your spirit in its evolution has prepared to feel my presence spiritually. 5. Your heart is surprised to be able to conceive certain ideas. It is that he does not know the path that the Spirit has traveled. In the same way, you are surprised by the precocious intelligence of the children of this time, which asks you questions, demonstrating that he has knowledge that has not been taught at this stage of his material life. It is the light that the Spirit has gone collecting in its long way, which is reflected in each existence. You ask me, if you express yourself with so much wisdom and if our spirit is ready, why don't you tell us everything of your teaching? It is very great what I reserve for you and that I cannot give it to you in an instant, so as not to cause you confusion in the spirit or mind. 6. I will always tell you that if you do not want the light of revelation to stop, you must persevere on this path of love to your father and your brothers. 7. Go down the road slowly and firmly. Do not go through it in a hurry or in a rush, because you will stumble and in the end you will not even know where you walk. 8. Disciples. From time to time I must tell you not to judge the teaching of one campus better than that of another, nor the work of a spokesperson superior or inferior to this or that one. The meaning of my doctrine is one only through all, and the difference is exterior. It is superficial. It is in the language. I will always tell you to seek my truth in the essence of this word. 9. Humanity will believe. My work has to spread throughout the world. I'll start with 144,000 targeted, who will fight with obedience, with love and zeal in the time of the wars of beliefs and doctrines. And in the middle of that battle, they will be like a link that proposes to the world, not the chain of slavery, but that of the spiritual alliance that will be of freedom and fraternity. Those soldiers will not be alone. My spirit world will follow and protect them. They will do wonders in their path, and they will thus bear witness to my truth. 10. Carry your cross to the end with patience and resignation, and then it will be my charity that will free you from it when you arrive at the doors of that abode that I have promised you. where you will come to enjoy true peace. Now you are the walkers, you are the soldiers, the fighters, who are going after an ideal, who are after the conquest of a better country. 11. But you are not alone in your struggle. Man has never been, because I have always shown him the best way. 12. If someone asks me, how did the Lord's people guide themselves before the law that Moses received from the Lord? I answer them that, before Moses, I sent into the world spirits of great light, patriarchs and prophets, who brought the law in the light of their consciousness, to teach it with their works to all their companions. 13. Those men honored me with their lives. They were not idolaters, because they already knew spirituality. They had a sense of love and charity towards others. They knew how to receive the foreigner in their lands, and within their home they were hospitable for the weary traveler. A good word and wise advice were on the edge of everyone's lips. 14. But not all men have known how to be guided by the voice of their conscience, because this requires spirituality, and senses of the flesh do not understand it. That is why it was necessary for me to manifest myself in various forms among humanity, to explain the law and reveal the divine teachings. 15. You people who are listening to this word in the third area and who still retain something of that seed that I entrusted you in past times, understand that you must cleanse your heart of selfishness and materialism, so that the happy moment may come to you in which you will return to follow your life, guiding it by the dictates of your conscience, as did those first enlightened ones, such as Abraham, from whom spring the people who in all times have been the depository of my revelations. 16. I want that when the moment comes when my manifestation ceases in the form in which you now have it, you will remain in such prepared way, that each spirit of the beings that make up this people be like a temple for me, each heart a sanctuary, each home an altar, a patriarchal house, hospitable and full of charity. How deep will your peace then be? How strong will your heart be then, to get ahead in all trials? 17. The bread will then be blessed not only by me, but also by you, because by then you will have already learned to knead it with love, faith, and peace. 18. The spiritual strength with which I have given you is none other than the seed of spirituality. In truth, I tell you that whoever cultivates that seed in his heart, caring for it with true love, will not become a victim of plagues or fury of the unleashed elements, nor will material needs come to afflict him in a depressing way. 19. But you must not wait for those days to come to you. No, people, with your spirituality you must be the ones who pray. You achieve reconciliation with your Father, and you understand all that the Spirit is capable of when it achieves to rise above the mud, dust and mire of a materialized and impure life. 20. Do not forget, O disciples, that spirituality cannot admit fanaticism of any kind, idolatry or prejudice, because then it would cease to be spirituality. 21. He who carries purity in his heart and seeks to honor me with the facts of his life does not need external worship to feel that he has fulfilled my precepts. On the other hand, the one who carries in his heart the uneasiness that makes him feel consciousness when judging him, he eagerly seeks external rites and worship, in the false belief that with them he will reach reconciliation with your Creator. 22. Be simple like flowers and pure like birds. Be transparent like air and pure like pure water. Then you will have achieved clarity and the elevation that will make you know all the truth that life contains. 23. Whoever says that my doctrine is a danger to the material progress of humanity, thereby commits a serious error, because I, the master of teachers, when I come to show the Spirit the way of its restitution, I also speak to the mind, reason, and even the senses themselves. My doctrine not only inspires and teaches you the spiritual life, but also to make light in all science and in all human paths, because my teaching is not specified to direct the spirits towards the mansion that is beyond this existence. It also reaches the heart of man, to inspire him to live in this land a pleasant, dignified, and profitable life. 24. If I told you in the second era that my kingdom is not of this world, now I tell you that it is not here either, because this abode, as you well know, is only temporary for man. 25. I come to teach you true life, which has never been based on materialism. That is why the lords of the earth will again rise against my doctrine. I come to you with my eternal doctrine, with my usual teaching, which is of love, wisdom, and justice. However, it will not be understood instantly. The world will judge me again. This humanity will once again put the cross on my shoulders. But I already know that my doctrine must pass over all this ingratitude to be recognized and loved. I know that my most tenacious persecutors will later be my most faithful and self-sacrificing souls, because I will give you very great proofs of my truth. 26. Nicodemus, in the second era, prince among the priests, the one who sought Jesus to converse with him about themes of high wisdom, will emerge again at this time to study and analyze my work and convert to it. 27. Saul, later called Paul, the one who, after persecuting me viciously, became one of my greatest apostles, will appear again on my path. And from everywhere my new disciples will emerge, some fervent ones, others selfless. The present time is of great importance. The time I am talking about is already looming. 28. These wars of ideas, these fights that you are now witnessing, and these events that you have daily, don't they tell you about something that is approaching? Don't they make you feel that a time is coming to an end and that a new era begins to spread its light? 29. I only want you, the witnesses of my word at this time, to stand firm in times of trial, that they will precede the establishment of my law, of my kingdom among you. Then I will be like the hurricane, under whose force the land and seas in which this humanity dwells and stirs will have to curl and stir in their own entrails, so that they expel from them all that is impure kept deep within. 30. Do not fear when these manifestations arrive. You must understand that the beginning of the end of an age has begun, and that the dawn of a stage of peace is approaching. 31. Evil, injustice, pride, slavery, ignorance, earthly power will succumb to make way for the establishment of the kingdom of love, light, and peace among men. You will not waver. You will not turn off your lamp even if you feel that the test is very hard and the chalice that you have to rush is very bitter. On the contrary, you must ignite and enliven the flame of hope, as the soldier of mine does in the heat of battle, when he feels that he is dominating the enemy and that victory is close at hand. 32. When you see yourself surrounded by hostile crowds whose tongues are spewing poison at you and whose eyes throw flames of hatred against you, do not doubt my promises. In those moments I will make you feel my reassuring presence, and I will make you hear my loving voice that repeats to you, I am with you. 33. You will see many times how a heart will emerge from among those mobs that understands you and that is for you like a shield. But this you will only achieve when you place your trust and your faith in me. 34. Remember Daniel, that faithful prophet who defended so much the truth of the only God in Babylon, and whom I saved from his enemies. 35. Before the fight begins, water again the seed that the Eternal sowed in the spirit of man. Let its weed be cut off at the blow of the sickle of my justice, and the darkness in all lands be removed, so that they are propitious for the cultivation of the doctrine of love. 36. It is necessary to grant men who are ambitious for the goods of the earth a few more moments, so that their disappointment is absolute, so that they are convinced that the gold, the power, the titles and the pleasures of the flesh will not ever give peace or well-being to the spirit. 37. The hour is drawing near when the works of all mankind will be judged by the light of consciousness. There will be the sages, theologians, scientists, the powerful, the rich and the judges, wondering what has been the spiritual, moral or material fruit that they have gathered. Seeing the meagerness of his harvest, many will return to me, recognizing that, despite the glory they had on earth, something was lacking to be able to fill the emptiness into which his spirit had fallen, which can only be sustained by the fruits of spiritual life. 38. For those spirits I have already prepared an oasis in the middle of the desert, because I know that through their existence, knocking from door to door and traveling road after road, some have sought the truth, others strength, others the happiness. And at the end of the path you have traveled on earth, when you are about to deny everything, I will open my arms to you, to make you rest in my bosom. I will comfort you and show you which is the true path, so that through it you may find the fields in which they can sow the fruitful seed of their existence. 39. The oasis is spiritual, and men of all races will come to it through all the desert roads, some tired, others full of wounds, others gray, and many with their saddle bags already empty, ashamed at the sterility of the struggle they had undertaken. There they will hear my voice, and recognizing it, they will exclaim, "It is the Lord." And in that phrase they will reflect humility with which at last they will look for me, since all will have to arrive by their own foot. 40. But that hour of infinite sweetness, of reconciliation and humility, will also be of divine forgiveness for prodigal children, that at last they return to the parental home in search of the loving arms of the one who gave them life and inheritance. 41. Today receive my word of love, forgiveness and justice, and present your heart to me. Do not pretend or hide, because I know everything. You have promised to love each other, and I am still waiting for your fulfillment. I have only one tree given for you to cultivate, and you offer me different fruits. I have prepared you humble, submissive and obedient, so that you serve your brothers, and I do not find that seed in your works. 42. The son does not bow down to his parents. The wife rebels against the husband. The brothers are unknown. They all do acts that reveal pride and vanity. Everyone feels superior, and I continue to teach only love and peace to all men. 43. The nations have signed peace, and there is no love or good in the purposes of their words. Behind that apparent peace, there is resentment, the desire for revenge and war lurking. Where is there the one who has known how to forgive, who has left the cause for me to judge? 44. The human heart has hardened and is not moved by the pain of children, the anguish of women, and the tragic fate of the youth and men who are mercilessly thrown into war. But there have been those who love me, and they feel love for their brothers, those who have known how to pray and do works of charity. The test has been very big for those nations. Their pride has been punished. They themselves are destroying their might. Only pain will bend them and make them reflect. I have been very close to each spirit to strengthen them in the test, and those who have prepared have felt my presence. 45. The atmosphere of war has penetrated everywhere, sowing destruction. From the small home to the big nations, who have not watched, have fallen into their nets without knowing how to free themselves from this yoke. 46. I have taught you, I have given you the secret of peace. Love me, love one another. Be inspired by me. Comply with your duties. Conform to your destiny, and you will have peace and blessing. 47. I have received a song of joy from those who, after the struggle, have returned home to their homeland. But also I receive the pain of the mothers who did not see the return of the son, that of the children who did not see the father, and that of the woman who has become a widow. I bless everyone. May Israel participate with those peoples in their sentiments. And that prayer that you have raised for the peace of the world, continue offering it and make it like a song of protection for all nations. 48. Spirits that left your body on earth, enlighten yourselves. I have received you. Trust in me and you will be led to true life. You have not died, because the Spirit possesses eternal life. I invite you to true peace and justice, because I am life and I come to offer you the bread of eternal life. But I am teaching you, and you have not understood that the essence is at the bottom of my word. If you look at it superficially, you will not be able to feed yourself. In it contains my love, that divine essence that is life, joy, and peace for the Spirit. 49. There are many beings in this and in other nations, waiting for the good news to fulfill my mandates. The day will come when the good apostles will rise from among you to go through regions and nations preaching my teaching. And I will speak through your understanding, as I did with those who in the second era followed me. Everyone who works in this way, be full of courage and trust in me. 50. If you encounter obstacles, do as Moses. Command the elements to favor you, and they submissively will obey. 51. If you want to see wonders, get ready, but do not expect everyone to believe you. I have said that in this time not all they will believe my word. So leave me the cause and move on. They will recognize me when they are in spirit. 52. You respect ideas and feelings, but speak as I have taught you, with this word that does not hurt, and draw back the veils that hide my light from the spirits. 53. The time of awakening for each spirit is appointed. I promise you that everyone who prepares will see me in all my splendor. 54. Ask and it will be given to you. Whatever you wish in charity for your brothers, ask me. Pray, unite your prayer to the needy, and I will grant you what you request. 55. The light of my word will be the white garment that covers all you. 56. For your sake I have come in the cloud, symbol of the spiritual, to communicate with your spirit. At the beginning, that luminous cloud had to settle on the understanding of the spokespersons, as a preparation for when you will know how to communicate directly with me, and it is in your spirit where I descend to perch on its cloud. 57. I chose the cloud as a symbol to represent my arrival in the world in the third era. 58. Is it not the cloud, the messenger that crosses over mountains, valleys, and cities? Isn't she the one who fertilizes fields with their rain and provides beneficial shade? Does not the lightning come out of it, announcing the storm and the vibrating ray that shudders? That's why I chose the cloud as a symbol. That's why my apostles, when they saw me in spirit for the last time, and Rokro Has in this third era, when I made them contemplate the symbol that was the sign of my new coming, they understood the meaning of my presence in the cloud. 59. Since then, a sweet shadow envelops the people that have formed around my demonstration. My word has been a fruitful rain on the arid fields of spirituality, and the ray that in every communication descends on human understanding has torn the darkness of your sin and your ignorance, shaking your fibers and awakening your spirit. How terrible has it been for many of you, the storm that has been unleashed in your spirit when listening to my divine word. 60. How much majesty and what imposing beauty have you witnessed in that storm of light that arises from my word in the moments of its manifestation? Overwhelmed with admiration, respect, and fear, they remain mute, the multitudes, letting that torrent of love, justice, and wisdom bathe and purify them. 61. O beloved people whom I have called Israel, because I am making you the repository of my messages and revelations. When will you learn to accurately translate and interpret my word? 62. My promise to return, made in the second era, I have fulfilled. The apostles in Bethany saw me ascend from earth to infinity, and you have seen me return from infinity to your heart. Now you also find in it a resemblance to the clouds that rise from the sea and rise to pour out their beneficent rain in other places, where the thirsty lands call them. 63. Your pain has attracted me. My spirit has felt invoked by yours, and I have come in the cloud of love and from justice to overflow with mercy on men. 64. Not all peoples call me, and very few hearts await me. The spiritual cloud will come, and like a cloak of peace she will cover the peoples who invoke her, the hearts that await her. To all those who try to quench the thirst of the Spirit with the pleasures of the world, the cloud will surprise them with the radiance of its lightning, and the roar of your storm will fill you with dread. Not until then will you remember that there is a divine justice and that each man is the bearer of a spirit that will have to answer for all his works. 65. The cloud of love, light, mercy, and justice is also an immense legion of spiritual creatures, of my servants, of spirits of light that live to fulfill my designs and multiply in the universe, performing with perfect harmony their mission to love one another. Because that divine commandment, that maxim that in the second area I revealed to the world, it was not only for men. That maxim is the law that governs all existing spirits. 66. Beloved people, on that cloud of light, which is the spiritual legion of love and brotherhood among all worlds, I descended through my ray in this third era, bringing you a new message of wisdom, an infinite consolation for your pain, and a light that would serve as a guide to find a forgotten path, so that, once discovered, you come to me, step by step, merit by merit, consciously and firmly, in pursuit of your perfection. My peace be with you.